There is a reason why Terrence Crawford didn't fight Manny Pacquiao and why Bob Arum never made that fight. Let's find out why.
Straighter, not a roundhouse right hand.
And that's what we've been talking about, the straight shot, the one where he gets leverage on it.
I don't want to kill somebody
back
for
a little bit.
seconds.
Nah, I want a body on my record.
Now, I want to see you fight motherfuckers. I do. All right? I'm with you. I'm with you. As long as you're trying to fight the great, the best competition.
Welcome to the graveyard. Click the link if you dare to. Bury you alive, I'm prepared to. Welcome to the graveyard. You get your sources from clowns, so when you come around, we're here. Welcome to the graveyard. Click the link if you dare to. Bury you alive, I'm prepared to. Welcome to the graveyard. You get your sources from clowns, so when you come around, we're here. Yo, it's the best, fight the best. If you ain't with the moto, just click the link, bitch, and get buried like the rest. It ain't gonna work how you want it. These trolls already tried, too many come but don't leave. So if you here, you gotta die. I'm spitting straight facts. These bitches crying cause they hate that. The LDBC's the top topic, bitch, hate that. We the ones that bring the truth to these fans. So why you hate, I'ma laugh and keep counting these bands. Welcome to the graveyard. Click the link, get the dance. Bury you alive, I'm prepared to. Welcome to the graveyard. You get your sources from clowns, so when you come around, we don't hear you. Welcome to the graveyard. Click the link if you dare to. Bury you alive, I'm prepared to. Welcome to the graveyard. You get your sources from clowns, so when you come around, we don't hear you.
Welcome to the graveyard.
Terrence Crawford, if he were to win, did you always feel he was a fighter who could be competitive with a Manny Pacquiao, that he's ready for that kind of stage?
Well, I don't know. A lot of my matchmakers think that Manny is too much for him. One thing about Terrence is that he is vulnerable to a good southpaw puncher. You know, he leaves himself open a little bit. So the question is, Manny, who's a terrific puncher, if he nails Crawford, what happens?
So, Bob Arum says his matchmakers don't believe Terrence Crawford beat Manny Pacquiao and doesn't do well with southpaws. He leaves himself open. As y'all saw in the video, this was in 2016 for the Victor Postol fight. But let me guess, none of that matters anymore. Terrence Crawford's a different fighter. Well, at 140, Terrence Crawford was the man at 140. Fighting Victor Postol, I mean, he only had, what, 2 fights after that? He fought for undisputed. Fighting Victor Postol, that was it. That was his first pay-per-view, all that. But Bob Arum said his matchmakers don't believe he can beat Manny Pacquiao because he leaves himself wide open to southpaws. In the immortalized words of Coach, how you gonna explain this? I understand. Y'all motherfuckers are looking for ways to cap, looking for ways to get out of this. I didn't say this. I just kept it in the bag. This is Bob Arum's words. These are not my words. This is Bob Arum's words when Terrence Crawford was at 140.
You know what I'm doing to him.
No, you don't.
He know in his mind. He know what I'm going to do to him. He should do it.
So all you guys running around here talking about how Manny Pacquiao didn't want to fight him and Manny Pacquiao was scared and Manny Pacquiao was ducking. Manny Pacquiao was signed to Top Rank. Terrence Crawford was signed to Top Rank. The matchmakers and Bob Arum did not make that fight. They could have. They didn't because Terrence Crawford, according to the matchmakers and Bob Arum, Terrence Crawford doesn't do good with southpaws. Well, moving right along. Errol Spence is a southpaw. He's a big welterweight. That's what they call. Oh, he's a weight bully. He's a weight bully. Errol Spence is a weight bully. Oh, he should move up. He should move up. He's so big. He can fight at 160. He can fight at full 150, 54, 160. He should move up. Errol Spence will never be pound for pound. You can't call him that unless he moves up. He's already big. He's too big. And he's a southpaw. He is everything that Bob Arum and the top-ranked matchmakers said is all wrong for Terrence Crawford. That's what Errol Spence is. Everything that is all wrong for Terrence Crawford. He's a big puncher. Broke Kell Brook's eye. Broke Yordenis Ugas's eye. Fuck Danny Garcia's eye all up. He's a big puncher. And he's southpaw. Well, let me guess, that don't matter though, right? Because this mythical unicorn, pound for pound, hands, feet, nails, toenails, eyes, all that stuff right there is going to be the difference for Terrence Crawford and Errol Spence. It's going to be a difference because he's on somebody's pound for pound list. Well, according to the matchmakers, the pound for pound don't mean shit. What means anything is that he does bad with southpaws. It's not very good with him. Not very good. He leaves himself wide open. Oh, with BFTB, he fought southpaw. He fought southpaws before. He switches. There is no one on his resume, no one that is as good or even remotely close as Errol Spence. No one. And none of them are southpaws. Oh, Sean Porter. Listen, man, I think Sean Porter didn't do shit. Sean Porter was in the best shape of his life to fight Errol Spence. And Errol Spence was not. He said it himself. It was a fat camp. And he still dropped that man. And he still made that man want to retire. His words, not mine. His words.
Said this before. The first time I thought that I would retire was after I fought Errol Spence Jr. And I literally, like, I didn't do it that night, of course. And then I was in my room trying to be like, how do I tell my dad that I'm done boxing? That I don't want to fight anymore.
Yeah. Sean Porter wanted to retire after Errol Spence. The left-handed southpaw puncher. The most fundamentally sound boxer in boxing. No flash, no pizzazz, no behind the back, under the rim, 360 between both legs, behind the neck, windmills, slam dunks. Very consistent. Simple layup. Simple 15-footer. And you had the flashiness of the match. You had the flashiness. You know, the Muhammad Ali shuffle. And Errol Spence dropped 40 on you and beat you every round. But you had a flash in this round and a flash in that round. But the consistency, the damage that was done, was all done by Errol Spence. Now you're sitting in your corner wondering why your ribs is fucked up. Wondering you could barely see, like, oh, man, cut me, Mick. Eye all swole the fuck up. Yeah. Bob Arum told the world. He told the world, y'all just refuse to listen. You just refuse to watch. You just refuse to believe it. But you'll believe him with other shit. You pick and choose what you want to believe Bob Arum with. But Bob Arum blatantly told the world he does not know if Terrence Crawford can beat Manny Pacquiao because Terrence Crawford does not do good with southpaws. That is what he said in 2016 when he was at the prime, at the top, the peak of his career, the prime of his life at 140, about to be undisputed in his prime, all that shit. Second weight class, moved up from 135, did everything he did at 135, and is now at 140. And Bob Arum has no belief that he will beat Manny Pacquiao because Manny Pacquiao is a southpaw, and Terrence Crawford leaves himself open for southpaws. And what happens if Manny Pacquiao touches him? That is what Bob Arum says. Well, what happens if Mr. Eyebreaker touches Terrence Crawford? What happens? He is going to get destroyed. And that's the reason why Bob Arum dragged this out. That's the reason why Bob Arum was talking about 50-50 from the jump. That's the reason why none of these guys talking about, oh, well, Errol Spence, he ain't the money man. But none of those guys sent an offer.
I ain't got no offers for y'all.
None of them. None of them. All they said is 50-50 or nothing. Now they're saying, oh, well, Errol Spence is the A side. But you weren't saying that before. You was not saying that before. Terrence Crawford wasn't saying that before.
I'm that guy.
Numbers don't lie, and I'm the number.
I'm that guy. You not the number guy.
Numbers don't lie.
You signed for 3.5 fight. I've been getting that.
Terrence Crawford wasn't. Terrence Crawford was saying he's the money man. And the money man is the A side. But now all of a sudden you guys are saying that, no, EJ's the A side. No, he's EJ. He's the A side. Bob Arum said this man does not do good with southpaws. Arguably the best southpaw in boxing right now is Errol Spence. The truth. That's an argument. Going up against a man who Bob Arum said does not do good with southpaws, which is the reason why the Manny Pacquiao fight didn't get made. But I know y'all don't want to talk about that. BFTB. Shout to the mighty LDBC. And I'm out.